As you can see, I'm back home. And I got them. These are let's see, I'm about 4 days post-op, 4 or 5 days post-op. My surgery was Tuesday, August 31st. It is now September 5th, and I feel fine. So I guess we can kind of get into my experience, my pros and cons about the place, and basically like the overall experience of how I feel like currently. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, so let's start with the very first experience. So post-op, wrong, not post-op, pre-op. So pre-op was actually pretty quick. Well, I want to say like an hour and some change. You did have to fill out a lot of paperwork. It was basically just kind of waivers, things that the doctor would have to sign later on. They just kind of wanted to get your signature first. So basically it was signing your name, writing your name out, the date, maybe your birthday, like over and over and over again. A couple initials here and there. Some papers you didn't even have to sign. You just had to, like, read it if you felt like it. But for the most part, it was probably about 100 pages, like this thick. Nothing crazy. After that, you get called in with your nurses, and your nurses, they have you take off. Well, depending on what you're getting. So for me, I only had to take off my top. They took pictures, different angles. They had me do a urine test, which was already in a drug test cup, which was strange to see. But anywho, so they did that. They also do like a pregnancy test and other narcotics tests, just to make sure that you don't have any narcotics in your body. They ask you about your family history as far as like blood clots, blood pressure, things like that. If you have any questions, they answer them for you. And this was at Spectrum Aesthetics. That's where I did my pre-op. They told me that as long as I had plastic nipple rings, I can keep them in. So of course I went on a manhunt to find plastic nipple rings. So once that was over, pre-op was done. Like I said, no more than an hour, only because you have to just wait for the nurse to see you. You pay for your surgery, done. Now remember, I paid $33 for the surgery itself. So I paid for that, but you have to pay an additional $100 for the COVID test, which I'll get into in a second. So at the Spectrum place, you're only paying for the surgery itself. Now, day 2, which is now surgery day. So we get there. You're not at Spectrum Aesthetics for your actual surgery. You're at a place called iBody, which I'm not sure if all of the doctors go to iBody. I think some do it at Spectrum and some do it at iBody. So my doctor, Dr. DeJesus, she worked at iBody. So I go to iBody. I put my, I sign my name in. My nurse comes to get me. I get there for 1:30, like they told me to. And we go through another set of questions, another drug test. This was the most uncomfortable part. She went in the bathroom with me to watch me pee. That was kind of uncomfortable, but it was just like, okay, I get it. Maybe they felt like people, because like my doctor is so, like, especially since she had a situation where someone lied while, about her surgery, and as she was doing the surgery, like the old, I guess the old silicone from the prior surgery started coming out into the needle. So she is now very freaking strict. Like, she plays zero games when it comes down to like what needs to be done. She's just not, she's not with it. So yes, her nurse will sit there with you and watch you fucking pee. Excuse my language. She will watch you pee. So then she leaves, you clean yourself up, you sit back down. You so she wanted me to take more pictures because at Spectrum, they have my arm. Okay, I can't do my arms too crazy, but they have my arms spread it up, but like higher. For her, she wants your arms down. So for me, my only con was there's a lot of miscommunication between Spectrum and iBody. Like they need to have like a list of what each doctor would want, so that when you're in pre-op, you're not confused by the time you get to the day of the surgery. So I did have the plastic nipple rings in. She made me take them out. She made me take them out, and I paid $50 for the nipple piercings because it's Miami. It was expensive, and I was highly pissed off. But I'm like, you know what? I had them for so long, they might not close. So I had to take them out. I was very distraught by that. So then I had to wait to kind of speak to her, but she gives you like a to speak to the doctor, the surgeon. She had like a little pamphlet for you to read that she would go through with you. Me being who I am, I was highlighting important things for me to know because I take the paper home. So for me to know when I got home, I started highlighting things. So for her, she was like super impressed. She asked me what I wanted, like my ideal cup, and I was like, I want a C cup. And she was like, everybody wants a C cup. And I'm like, well, a C cup is pretty standard. Like, you know, it's like not too big, not too small. So I told her, she asked me if I knew the numbers, and I was like, I don't want to go anywhere past 300 cc's. Like 300 cc's for my body type is way too big. So she told me that if they can't close me up at 300 cc's, she would go down to like 297 or 295 or something like that. So I was like, okay, that's fine by me. Like, just don't go over 300, please. So we spoke to her for a little while, and she just kind of gave me the rundown about what's gonna happen, what my incisions would look like, and then she left. Now, here's another part that people do not tell you. Just because you got there at 1:30 does not mean that you're getting your surgery in an hour. Like, I was sitting there for, I want to say they left the room about 2:30. My best friend who came with me, she came and checked on me. Like, she had to use the bathroom, so she kind of checked on me real quick. And by the time when I looked at the time on her phone, it was like 4:30. What the hell? I've been sitting here for these many hours. Then my anesthesiologist came in. He gave me my IV. He told me what was going to happen. How he starts off with the IV. From the IV, he does another kind of medication, which is like a little strong, and then the stuff that knocks you out. And then after that, they put a tube down your throat just to, like, you know, make sure everything is okay. He told me that I was going to feel some kind of like soreness for the next couple of days, which I did. It was very uncomfortable. So, you know, be ready for that part, like your throat being kind of sore for like 2 or 3 days. So that took another, I think he probably came and got me an hour and a half later after talking to him. So I was in there for a very long time. Like, my surgery probably didn't start until like 6. So you go in this back room. It's very freaky looking. You lay on the bed. You put your arms spread out. I looked up at the big lights. Next thing I knew, I was in the cab going home. Like, I was out. I was in the room for less than 5 minutes before I was done. Going. So then you go back the next day for post-op, which is just basically her just checking to make sure that there was no hematomas, that they don't have to go back into surgery, that they don't have to do anything. She touched, she feels, she looked. They changed the strips for my scars. They checked the scars to make sure the scars were okay, like to make sure the stitching was good. I changed my bra because the bra that they gave me was uncomfortable, so I bought my own bra with me. So I changed into that, and I went back to my hotel room. For the most part, she was very attentive, the surgeon. Like, I thought I was only going to see her surgery day. Like, every time I went there, I spoke to her directly. They gave me oxys. I have not touched them yet. I've only needed to use Tylenol. Yeah. Because it's not that much pain. So let me explain to you what she did as far as, I'm gonna see if I get closer. That's another thing. I can't like push myself up with my arms. Yeah, so I scoop with my butt. Don't judge me. Anywho, so originally up here, I had no breast tissue, which apparently is not supposed to be something that happens. You're supposed to have breast tissue in this area. I did not. So what she did was called a double plasty. So from this point up, the implant is underneath my muscle. So that's what I feel. I feel the pressure. So it feels like my muscles are contracting. And when I take the muscle relaxers, it kind of loosens them up a bit. That's the only thing I feel. From here down, it's just under the breast tissue. So I don't feel anything, but it's very soft. These are a little hard right now, only because it's, like I said, under the muscle. After taking the muscle relaxers for the time that they tell you to take it, it should kind of go away. But like I said, that's the only thing that I feel. I do not feel my scars. They do not hurt. I don't want to say I don't feel it, because I feel it, but it's like there's no pain here. Just pressure. I think that's about it. Yeah, just pressure in this area. Once I take the muscle relaxers, I'm fine. I haven't had to take Tylenol in the past 2 days because, again, I don't really feel anything. Once I take the muscle relaxers, the muscles calm down, and I'm done. I have my trusty pillow that has been helping. So I just put it underneath like this, and I just be sitting, chilling. The only thing is sleeping on my back. I am not a sleeping on my back person. I sleep on my side. I sleep on my stomach. So for me, sleeping on my back was the worst. I say now I'm a little bit more comfortable, especially now that I'm home. Now that I'm home, and you know, as you can see, I got 1,000 pillows on my bed. I have couch pillows. So I slept actually really comfortable last night. But I don't have no complaints now that I've been sleeping on my back for the past 5 days. Like, I'm better now. Traveling home was a breeze. I did do this when we landed, because I was like, I know it's gonna boom. I'm like, whew. But it didn't rock that hard. We did go out. Okay, so we went out like 2 days after. So like I was able to go out. I was able to enjoy myself. I was able to put my feet in the water. I did not submerge myself in the water because she was just like, do not do that. So of course I've never been to Miami, so I just put my feet in the water like she told me I could. It felt really good, and I went and sat back on the chair. It was a quick beach day. But yeah, it wasn't like I expected. Honestly, I expected to be down. Like, I expected to like not want to get up. I expected to be crying. I expected to be in like intense amount of pain. Like, I don't feel anything right now. I put my nipple rings back in yesterday day before yesterday, Friday, before we left. So they didn't close. My tongue ring closed, so I don't have a tongue ring anymore. It's okay though, because I kind of wanted to take it out. So I'm not pissed. I would have been pissed if my nipple rings closed, considering I spent $50 on plastic nipple rings when I could have put $8 on Amazon. But other than that, I had a great experience. Like I said, the only pro and the only con about them is that it's like they got a lot of miscommunication. Like, they don't they tell you one thing and you get to your doctor and your doctor's like, no, that's not the case. And now you're like, what the hell? But as far as pros, especially my doctor, Dr. DeJesus, she was very attentive. Every time I had to go, I seen her. I seen a nurse, but I also seen her. Like, I came and spoke to her. She came and checked herself. Like, she didn't want to just say, okay, well, the nurse said it was okay. That's it. Like, she came, she felt, she looked, she touched every single time that I seen her. So that made me feel very comfortable. And now that I'm home, I feel fine. I can't really like do too much strenuous stuff, which, you know, that's fine. I get to be lazy for another 2 weeks. But for the most part, I enjoyed my stay in Miami. I enjoyed my surgery. I am more than happy with my results. So again, this is only 5 days post-op. Remember that. 5 days. 5. So just imagine we'll be getting down to the weeks and the months. Can't shake too much. Anywho, so I hope you enjoyed my whole video. And maybe I'll do, because I just did 5 days, I probably won't do like the week update. It doesn't really make sense. So I'll probably do maybe like a 2 or 3 week update to see like if it went from up here, moseyed on down a little bit. But so far so good, and I'm extremely happy. But of course, until next time, and thank you for watching.